Welcome everyone to a brand new episode here on Dynamic Conversations. In this dynamic conversation, I have the pleasure to welcome a friend all the way from Indonesia, Bali, Kasyfi Reynold. For 3 years, Kasyfi has been the community and event manager of the very popular co-working place Hubud in Ubud, which is in Bali. And that's also, in fact, where we met. I've been going to Bali, in the last few years, on and off. Now, sadly enough, because of Corona, they had to close doors. And since then, Kasyfi has been working as the community manager for the company Slash, which is a company that builds remote autonomous teams to help innovators develop software, products, and high-tech startups. Over the years, Kasyfi has organized more than 700 events and workshops for remote workers and entrepreneurs. If you ever want someone to organize an event or workshop for you, this is your guy. Also, if you want someone to run a community, Kasyfi is amazing at it. Some of the things that we talk about in this dynamic conversation are traveling, our top 3 recommendations of things to do or see in Bali, community, growth, mindsets, and a whole lot more of topics. If you would like to check out Kasyfi and follow him on social media, then check out the show notes, which you can find in the description of this episode. There as well, you can find any other resources or anything that we mentioned in the conversation. With that, I hope you will enjoy this dynamic conversation with Kasyfi Reynold and me. Alright, I actually this is maybe something that you've talked maybe a lot about, I don't know, or had a lot of people ask you, but let me just start with this one. So I've been to Bali like a few times now, and been there for some months. So I've explored a little bit of it, and have some of my favorite places. But I was also curious because I want to share the top 3 or sort of things that I thought about that I think that I could recommend to people if they go to Bali. And I want to ask like your top 3 of things that you could recommend to anyone listening who wants to go to Bali too. And this could be like an activity or a restaurant or just a place. Okay. And I can actually also open Google Maps and we can also show this.
Okay.
So let me just open Google, go to Bali. And maybe we also discover something new ourselves to go and check out next time when we're there.
Yes, sure.
I can
Well,
share.
it's like I'm here. I can actually check it out, but I'm
You
curious
can
on
already
like
go and check it out, yes.
that's right.
And these are, of course, just 3 things that I thought about. Like, oh yeah, these were fun things to experience when I was in Bali. There's so many, of course, but so let me share my screen, and you can see this.
Yes.
Yeah. So ignore everything. There's so many things that I've put on there. So let me share one, and then if you think of something that you could recommend, then you can share, and then let me share another one. So, first thing that I actually that I could recommend, and maybe you've already been there. It's not exactly Bali, but it's Nusa Penida. Last time when I was in Bali, I went for the first time to it, and it was such a cool island. Just getting a scooter and actually going to the east. Have you been
Okay.
there?
Actually, I never been
Oh
there.
man, the east is the roads are so
Oh my
crazy.
God, I can imagine. I heard stories,
Oh
man.
my god, but it's such an adventurous island. It's
Uh-huh.
so awesome. And yeah, it's not. Okay, I was there when Corona was happening, so it was super quiet, no tourism. But I don't
Mm.
know. I don't know in general. I think it's not so touristic like Bali, I think.
Mm.
But the East is amazing. It's just so wild. So
Mm.
many beautiful. Yeah, you have the ocean everywhere just to look at, and and the roads are just so fun. I would say that
Mm,
you need some driving skills on your scooter because it
of
gets
course.
really wild, the roads. Like they're really broken. But if you can manage, so cool to go there.
Yeah. Like one thing that I know about Nusa Penida, and the
Hmm.
reason why I don't really want to go there.
A reason
It's
why you
not
don't
like
want to go
no,
there.
wait. It's not like I don't want to go there,
Uh huh.
but it's just it's one of the um that's where the black magic came from. It's
The
one of the, you know, there's a lot of people coming to Bali,
uh
coming to there to do. I don't know exactly, but it's very. Let me find it in English words because I
huh.
don't know what is. But I heard a lot of like scary story from my friends. At least one of my friends just shared a story that when he was visiting that island, somehow he's staying at this hotel, and then there's not a lot of people who are like living in that hotel because it's still pretty new. I don't know if the people already praying
Uh huh.
to because when you're opening up a new place in Bali, you or because most of the people there are like Hindu, you need to
Mm.
make a blessing for the whole area of the new building, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like so I don't know if they already done it or not, but at that time he was staying there. I guess he's also the only people who are living there, if I'm not mistaken. But there was this one night when he was staying there first time. During that night, he was with his friend, and all of a sudden he got a like ghost story,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Like a nightmare.
like a nightmare, and then somehow the people next to him, he started to scream
Mm.
like for a long time, and calling his name as well, like I don't really want to say the name, but the friends are started to, I don't know, all of a sudden my friend had that dream about this person,
Uh huh.
and then this person started to call his name until he wake up because his friend was screaming his name so loud,
Uh huh.
and then he was so scary, and he started to call the receptionist, which is very tricky as well. He needs to do it like two times. Not a lot. They're not pretty much on the receptionist. And then he asked like, okay, have you done the blessing in this place? Yeah, this is very new. And then somehow the news got into the whole area there. And then I guess the next day after, they started to do like the blessing again for that building. So I don't know if they've done it before, but after that situation happens,
Mm-hmm.
um, they decided to do another blessing for the building, because Penida Island, that's the reason why I said about black magic. Right there is the place for people if they want to do it, I guess. But
In Nusa
I'm
Penida.
not in Savanida, but I'm not sure. It's very sacred, like sacred place.
Uh
One
huh.
of the sacred place. That's the word. One of the sacred
Secret
place here
place.
in
Okay, yeah.
Bali. Um,
I mean,
so
I had a
yeah,
great time to be
yeah,
honest.
that's good for you, man.
I
But I
I
just don't want.
didn't have any crazy nightmares, but
Yeah,
I could recommend it. You know.
I mean, if I would recommend it as well because they have like very nice beach. The view is amazing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's pretty much untouched compared to any other place in Bali, right? I
It's
can see
crazy.
from the
Yeah.
picture. Yeah, the one that you were just
It's
putting there,
also great for diving for anyone
or diving.
who dives. I
Yeah,
did some diving there. It was super beautiful. Yeah, it's great. It's I mean, yeah.
yeah, I believe.
um,
Yeah.
do you have anything that you think of right now that when like it could, again, restaurant, an
Mhm.
activity, or just something beautiful, some sightseeing or something that you've seen in
I
Bali?
guess for me, one of my favorite place that I ever visited in Bali is waterfall. I love waterfall so much.
You love
Um,
waterfalls?
yeah,
Yeah.
like in the because coming from Jakarta,
Uh-huh.
I didn't really see a lot of like nature. And then at
Right.
that time, when I first time moved to Bali, I somehow see a lot of nature. So I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And of course, I tried to find a spot to where to go. And somehow in Ubud, since I based there before, there are a lot of like waterfalls around Ubud, right? And I just
Yes.
decided to go to a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my favorite waterfall, it's called Canto Lampo.
Is it in
Have you-
Ubud?
Actually, no, because it's a little bit to the north. But
Ah.
it's
Am I
one of the big,
going? Am I going the right way here?
I guess a little bit more up. Kachipung waterfall is also good. That's my first waterfall that I went to.
Can you help me type
But
it?
uh, K Kanto
Kwantu
Kanto
Kamn.
not N but N like no
Okay.
to
T-O
space LA.
L-A.
Yes, that one, the first one.
This one.
Yes, man.
Have I been here?
So wait, have you been there? I don't know.
I've been here, I think. Let's see. Ah, yeah. I have been here actually.
Yeah, it's so, I don't know. For me, it's just so dreamy, and it's I just like the way it goes because some waterfall you need to go down very far, and here it's not,
Mm,
you don't really have to walk down that much. And it's very
yes.
chill. They also have a lake, so then you can actually swim there.
I've been here.
But the waterfall itself is just so beautiful. For me, it's just so amazing.
Yeah,
I
let's.
never, before I coming and decided to move to Bali,
Mm-hmm.
I never been anywhere because
Mm,
I never really traveled that much.
right.
And even though that I've been to Bali for a couple of times before I decided to move to Bali,
Mm-hmm.
I never been to Ubud area. I always just go to like Seminyak or like Canggu. So when I decided to move to Ubud, I just surrounded by nature, right?
Yeah.
Because it's
Ubud
just
is a
all over
jungle.
you. It's a jungle. So
Yeah.
I was like very fascinating with how waterfall. That's my, I guess that's my first waterfall that I ever visited. And then afterwards, I just decided to visit more and more
Really?
waterfall because I love it.
I remember
Yeah.
it was a little bit difficult to find it or something. Or was
It's
it
a
just
bit true.
maybe me who was.
I guess it's a bit tricky. But
But okay, it
But
should
yeah,
be.
I mean, you can actually like when, because I don't think that the maps really say where it is.
Yeah,
But when you're close there, you just need to ask the locals, and then
exactly.
they pretty much will tell you like, oh, okay, just go there. You
Yeah.
know how nice Bali people are.
Pretty nice, yes.
So yeah, I love Balinese people. They're,
Yeah, they're awesome.
I know, but that's
Um,
a great one.
I had also another one called it's called the Water Palace, but there's a couple of ones. I
Ah,
think this one is Taman Tir Tirtaganga. Ta-
Tirtaganga. Okay,
Wait,
I
hold on.
never been there.
Taman, is it this one? Yes.
Yes.
How do you say this? Taman Tirtaganga?
Taman Tirtagangga.
All right, I'm not gonna
Oh
repeat
my
it,
God,
guys.
see, my Indonesian is getting there. It's out right now, Dan.
If you've not been there,
I
it's
never
also super beautiful, and always like the photos on Google, I think don't do like the justice of
did
like,
justice.
yeah. Um,
What can you do there actually?
well,
I was
I think
wondering.
it was like a royal water palace or something. It's just
Mm-hmm.
you can go and walk around. There's like fountains and water everywhere, and you can also go and swim in in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a restaurant, but it's just like very pretty, very much in
Mm-hmm.
nature, and not super touristy because it's also so far.
So far.
Yeah. It's like yeah, it's up into the yeah, definitely into the east of Bali,
Mm,
but could also recommend
okay.
it.
That's
I
nice.
I think I was here. to dive, and then I was just like, what's more like of nice things to see here? And then I found this
Oh,
one, and yeah, it's great.
it
It's
looks like it's very close to Ahmed there,
yeah,
the dive spot,
the dive spot.
the diving spot in Ahmed. Do you know?
Yes, 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 yeah. Yeah, that's where I
Okay.
actually went. So it's great. Also, if you've not been there, you can check it out.
Mm.
You have anything?
Okay.
You have anything more that you think of?
Uh, of course. One of my favorite one is Menjangan Island.
Ooh, I've never heard of that
Uh,
actually. I think is that in
really?
is that here in
It,
this where
it's
is
even no, it's
Man?
on the like
How do you also
Menjangan
M
M
yeah
E
E M E
N
or
J
E MENG?
J, yeah,
Is it?
M-E. So, oh my God, gosh, favorite spelling. Okay. M-E-E-N
Am I spelling it wrong? N.
J Manjangan.
Is it this here?
Okay. Let me type it on the chat. I guess it's easier.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Of course. I'm not always so great with
Yeah, I'm
uh
also not great on like doing the spelling.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's handy.
Yeah.
Ooh, where the
See?
hell is this? Whoa,
It's so
that's
that's so
very
far.
far.
It's
Wow.
almost close to Java Island actually.
Wow.
But I went there one time with Hubud members, so we do an excursion there together. So this
Damn.
is actually a very excluded island. There's no hotel or anything. It's just an island full of deer. Um,
Wow.
so you
Oh
cannot
yeah.
even like really staying there.
What? Full of deer.
Yeah, deer. See,
Yeah.
because Menjangan itself, I guess it's a Balinese word, for a deer. So
Ah.
there's a lot of deer there, and then you can see like deer playing in the water. It is one of the most beautiful places that I've been to here in Bali. The water is so clear, and
Wow.
actually, there's a lot of like snorkeling spot.
Yeah, it
Um,
seems like that.
yeah, snorkeling. I don't know. I'm not sure if you can do dive, but I guess you can. I don't really have a diving experience or license, so I don't really know
Uh-huh.
about it. But I do snorkeling there one time.
Guess you
Actually,
can.
there's one thing happening when I was there, and it's
Did a deer bite
very
you?
no, it's very traumatizing.
Okay, go on.
That makes me scared of an open water because it's just so big, man.
Uh-huh.
Somehow that's one of the most beautiful coral. You can see a lot of corals and a lot of like fish that you never see before, at least for me. And
Yeah.
I don't know. And one time I was so with the tour that I went to,
Hmm.
there's like they took you to like three different snorkeling spots. And then on the first snorkeling spot, I was like, okay, let's just go and see what's underwater because the water is so clear, it's so nice. I can even see the fish like from the boat. So I was like, okay, let me just jump in. And then Kashfi was jumping in. And then when I started to jump in, it was really nice for the first 5 minutes, right? It's so beautiful, but somehow because it's so big and I can see, so what I see there is basically like a coral, like
Yeah.
a mountain of coral here. So when I was diving on the right side, on the left side, it was a coral, and then on the left side it was an open water. Like
Ah.
it's so dark,
Yes.
you cannot really even see anything there. and my anxiety coming in because of course Kash is scared of shark or I don't know what happens in there.
Mm.
There's a lot of uncertainty there for Kash.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
was getting nervous and then somehow I was just okay, whatever, let me just focus on the fish. And I started to see a lot of fish, like it's so cute, okay. And then when I see up, I was seeing this alligator fish so big. Like I like it's like 2, 3 meters, and the mouth
In front of
was
you.
right in front of me. So I was
What?
so scared, and I just decided to like, no, okay, I just want to go back to the boat, and then right afterwards, I don't go to another snorkeling spot because for me it was too much. I was expecting like small fish and like cute little one, oh
But it didn't
coral
do
or
anything, right?
I don't know what it will do to me, but the anxiety kicked in. So I was like,
uh,
okay, let me just go back. And I
uh,
guess I'm not, yeah, I just don't like the idea of like open water,
Underwater can be pretty scary, actually. Yes,
right?
especially like I do have a certificate, and for
Yeah, you
like
do
a
diving.
yeah, for like advanced, you have to do like a night dive,
Uh-huh.
which is, I mean, you don't see anything, right? Like you have like a flashlight, but it's definitely the first time it's super scary
What
because
is what?
it's empty. Like you
Uh-huh.
don't see anything in front of you. It's so yeah.
It's so
It's,
weird. It's so calm. It's
yeah, and still a lot
such a
of people
okay.
who do a lot of diving don't really. Most of them don't enjoy. Some love it, but a lot just find it a little bit too scary to do like a night dive because it's just complete blackness around you. Although the one thing that's cool, it's like the closest to experiencing like being in space in a way because it's like quiet.
Mm,
You don't see anything. You're without gravity. That's in another. That's kind of cool though. That like.
mm.
But I get what you mean, though. That yeah,
Yeah. What is
ocean
the
is a big
weirdest?
place.
I know. What is your weirdest creature that you ever see underwater, Ellis?
Ooh, there's a lot of weird ones. I think
Like scary.
scary. Uh, I actually. Oh, well, there's like the really poisonous ones, like the scorpion fish. You don't really notice it too much because it's like very hidden.
A
Let me
scorpion fish.
scorpion. Oh, that's just fish. Um, yeah.
Oh,
So,
that one.
but they look okay. This one you can see pretty well, but they're like rocks, so you don't see them.
Oh.
And sometimes when I was diving, because you always have like a dive master or instructor
Mm,
guiding you,
mhm,
they were like pointing at it because it's pretty awesome to see it. You don't see it so
mm,
much, but if you
mhm.
touch it, it's so poisonous that yeah, you should never touch it.
Yeah, it's very tricky because they kind of like camouflage as
Yes.
a as a rock as well.
Yeah, and you also have
Wow.
stonefish that's also very poisonous, and you almost don't see, it that it's a fish. But it's so bizarre just that fish can do that, you know?
Yeah.
Like they can completely adjust to the surrounding and yeah, it just looks like a stone.
See, this type of creature is the reason why I don't want to go there.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
just having my life. I'm on the boat, seeing everything like from there. I don't know. I just not a big fan anymore after that situation.
Got it,
It's
got it.
very traumatizing. Yeah.
All
Oh.
right, but that's a really awesome suggestion, actually. That when I'm next time in Bali, because this, I mean, how long does it take to drive there from Ubud?
From Ubud, it took around like 3 to 4 hours by car. I would recommend to
Oh, you
just go
can.
by car though, because if you're going with a bike, it can be very tiring.
I guess so. Yeah.
And yeah, I was there. I was going there with a car, and it's already even tiring for me to go that far, knowing that, when you're living in Ubud, everything is just very
Yeah.
close. And then you don't really get used to like long drive. And then, going there for 4 hours. Man,
That's
too
wild.
much.
You take a boat
Yeah.
in, I guess.
Yeah.
That
So
is.
basically you can stay so there's a like small little isle like on the shore, like
Mm.
around that national park.
Somewhere
There's
here.
yeah, no, on the national park.
I hear.
Yeah, Menjangan there, Plataran. So you basically stay there around Plataran. If you go to the right, not the rest of the national park. There.
This
Yeah,
here.
that area.
Mm.
Plataran, around that area.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
So you
Here's
basically
like
can stay
some.
there,
Wow.
and then there's a lot of like
What?
hotel and restaurants, but it's very
The
local,
Ocean
I might
Club.
say.
God damn. All right. Yes. This
But yeah,
looks.
it's one of the best place that I ever visited because the water is so clear and it's just so nice to see a deer in the water, like the deer in the water. So, it's pretty unusual, at least for Cash.
Yes, but I was never expecting some deer somewhere in Bali, to be honest. So
Oh,
that's
really?
super bizarre. Yes, yes. I don't know. For some reason, I just think of monkeys and that's it.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, like, so yeah. But did they come like the same with like the Gili Islands with the horses? Did they happen to be there? Like, did humans put them there, or do you know anything about that?
Uh, I actually don't know, but the reason why the name of the island itself is
Ah,
Menjangan
yeah, it's called to
because
deer, right? Mm.
it's the deer itself. I don't really know about
So
the
maybe they were there
history.
already.
Yeah, so that's why they call it Menjangan Island.
Probably. Yeah. Okay.
Probably. Yeah.
Interesting. Awesome suggestion.
Very recommended.
So a last one that I actually have is more of an activity,
Hmm.
and it's one that I did last time that I loved so much that I did it like over 3 or 4 times. But it's
Hmm.
actually to go and do dirt biking.
Oh.
So I had Bali Dirt Bikes. That was the company, Bali Dirt Bike. But
Uh-huh.
that's not here. Um, but I couldn't find them on Google Maps anymore. So I don't know with Corona that they maybe
Mm. I
don't
guess
exist anymore.
yeah.
But
Actually, like when
yeah, it was somewhere over here that we went to. And there was like different tracks. Like one was next to the volcano here.
mm,
Another one was just next to the beach, and then another track was in a jungle. And I don't know, it was so much fun.
I guess there are still like a couple of places who, I mean, like a couple of travel agency
It's
still offering this activities.
yeah.
But actually, after the Corona, there are a lot of like this kind of activities started to like fell off.
I think it's actually this one that I went with. Bali dirt bikes.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, it's exactly this one. Yes, it's great. I uh, I loved it so much. It's I mean definitely not for everyone, right? Because it's a bit more, I guess, adventurous of an activity.
Adventures, I was about to say.
But it's something completely different. You know, if you want to do something completely different in Bali, you can do this. You can do this, and
Mm,
it's a great thing. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And the people there, I mean, the guides, like the instructors or so, like they were very. I mean, everyone like yeah in Bali is super friendly. They were very friendly
mm.
guys, and so they can even. I mean, for any level, if you're a beginner or totally or never did it, they will kind of help you through it, and yeah, anyone can kind of do it after a while. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, Kashfi is not very adventurous, yeah, so this kind of activities, not really my thing.
Well, yes, all right. But maybe
Mm.
one day, Cash, like if you think like let me
Girl,
do some more adventurous things in my life,
let me just do it.
this option is out there.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, of course. We'll see. We'll see.
A last
Mm.
one. Do you have a last one of recommendations in Bali for people listening
I
or for
guess, I
me?
guess, I guess, another place that I like to visit, it's just a simple rice terrace in
Uh-huh.
Tegalalang, in Ubud. It's very close to the center as well. It was very touristy actually in the beginning. Um,
Is it a specific rice? Where is it actually? Is it a bit more
um,
to the north?
a little bit more to the north. So from Ubud, from the city center, it takes around 30 minutes to go up there to Galalang.
This one
Um,
here.
I guess that no, 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 no.
No?
Ah, yeah, that one. Yes, that one.
Ah, yeah. It's super beautiful, actually. Yep.
It's so beautiful, especially when the rice is still like very green. Because sometimes when they started to harvest the rice,
Uh-huh.
like it's sometimes like looking like that, like brown. But when it's
Ah,
like
yeah.
very blooming, it's really beautiful. I love it. And actually in the beginning of my journey in Bali, I tried to visit a lot of like touristy places as well
Mm.
because I'd never been. So I went there. Sometimes I go there by myself just because I want to be surrounded by nature and then listening to the music by myself. When I just need some time for myself, I'll go to nature to just reconnect myself.
That's a great thing to do. Yeah. And yeah, it's super beautiful there. So I've been there, well, just once actually, but now that I'm
Mm,
seeing it again, I should go there next time again too because it's great.
yeah, yeah, it's really good. I recommend it.
Me too. Yeah.
Verified.
Let me just stop this my sharing. Uh,
Mhm,
stop share. There we go. Okay. So that was one of the first things that I kind of wanted to talk about. There's two
mhm.
very different ones after this, but uh, what was something that you wanted to talk about?
I guess one of the thing is around growth. I just want to know your perspective. What do you think growth is? Because this is one thing that I've been thinking this past 2 weeks. And somehow when I think about it, it makes me realize a lot of things, like on how I was before in Jakarta,
Mm,
and then here I am in Bali. But I've been hearing these words for the past 2 weeks because I've been working in this company, this startup company, and then I
which
work as
one
a.
is it
Mhm.
actually? If you,
It's called Slash. It's
yeah, okay. Hmm.
one of the business that is organized by one of the Hubud member actually. They founded
Really?
first time in Cambodia,
Mm,
and then they decided to expand their team here in Bali. And knowing that right now, well, they have a headquarter in Cambodia,
hmm.
but right now after the Corona, they started to make everyone to start remote working. So they also looking Indonesia as an opportunity to find and grow the team. So here I am joining them.
Nice.
But my role at that company is actually working together with one of the executive to be part of the people operation team. And
Mm,
then as part of my role is basically around people and culture.
hmm.
And then somehow I had a discussion with my executive as well, how we want our team to grow together with us. But because that has been mentioned a lot of time, it makes me thinking as well, like what is actually growth
Mm,
in in the company perspective. Like if you see someone as an employer in one of the company, and that company would like you to grow together with them, what do you
okay.
have in mind actually as an employer? I for Because when I got that question to me, There's a lot of thinking coming up in my head.
Uh-huh.
Uh, for me, growth is when I see like what comes in my head in the beginning is basically around the time when I was in Jakarta, and then I decided to move to Bali, and then there's a lot of things happening to me, and then I see a lot of like personal growth coming up to me as well.
For
But
sure.
what is professional growth like
Hmm.
when it comes to growth itself? I just want to know like your perspective actually, Ellis, about that.
Um,
What's growth for you?
but growth in the terms of a company,
Mhm.
yes?
Hmm.
So growth as an individual in a company.
Yeah, in the company.
I think it's almost the same as just just personal growth, or
Mm,
at least how I would think how it happens. Uh, I mean, like in general, I would say growth happens when you do things that scare you and
mhm,
you start to become more confident in them.
mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think, I mean, that's what I
Yeah.
think personal growth is like. You do something, all
Mhm,
right, that you're a bit scared of. And I mean, and you can, of course, learn a bit about it to know how to kind of do it.
mhm,
But it's about doing it again and again, more and more, becoming more confident in it. And that
mhm,
way you grow as a person. And I think it's just the same in a company too, actually. As an individual, how
mhm,
to grow in a company or together. Like you can do something together as a group that you are all new in, and with that
mhm,
maybe a little bit more uncertain about, so more
mhm.
scared of, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can grow as a group in that way too, to do something together that you're not familiar with, and yeah, overcome it, and that way you grow as a person because you have to use or work together.
Mm. Okay. Interesting. For me, I mean, like for me, it's also the same. Like when I guess personal growth and professional growth is pretty much the same. I agree on what you're saying as well before, when you can do something that you're scared of before and then being comfortable afterwards.
Then you've grown, right?
Because yeah, at least I mean like at least my experience, what I have in mind when it comes to growth is uh it's around my personal growth itself. Like when I was in Jakarta before,
Hmm.
and then I'm so stuck there, and then how I kind of like get out of my comfort zone, and then decided to move to Bali fully, and then somehow
That's
with
scary.
that experience it changed. Yeah, it's scary,
Hmm.
but it changed my life so much in a lot of ways.
I
Even
could imagine, yeah.
opening up a lot of like different mindset and different point of view. Um, but like when it comes to professional, I mean, I never, I, my first, my first job, it was Hubud, right?
Yeah.
Right after I finished my college, my uni,
Uh-huh.
and then I never had any like professional experience that much, because with Hubud I was working with them for like 3 or 3.5 years,
Yeah.
and that's the only company that I've worked before. I mean, if I look up into growth
But
from the 3.5 years,
how did you grow
yeah,
in the company? I mean, like as a person, by also doing things that you were scared of, right? And then getting more confident
yeah,
at it. And now, if you would still be working in Huboots and another, I don't know, community manager would be entering the
hmm,
building who has no experience, it's through all the
hmm,
experiences that you've had and all the things that you had to face, the difficulties that,
hmm,
resulted in knowledge. And
hmm.
with knowledge also comes confidence. And yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's
that's
good. That's
kind of what
opened up
I
my mind.
directly sort of think of, right? Maybe there's a better
Yeah.
answer or a different one for other people, but right now that feels more to me like, I guess, yeah, how it's just the same, I think, how you grow in
Mm,
a company as how you grow
Okay.
outside of a company.
Yeah. I mean, when you're saying that, it's coming up into my mind now
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes people forget, like you're just doing things and then you're like, okay, it's there. And then when you're saying that, yeah, it reminds me of a situation, let's say, like coming here
Yes.
to a new co-working space, not becoming a community manager anymore, just
But
coming
coming
in
as a member.
here as the member. So I was like,
That's.
wow, different experience. And then somehow, of course, this co-working space is also have a community manager.
Mm-hmm.
And then somehow the community is very different.
I guess so.
And
Yeah.
then there there's a lot of things coming up into my mind when it comes like it to like community building in this co-working space because this space is so big and there's a lot of things that you can do here.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess when it comes to co-working space, it also depends on what kind of co-working space are you, right? Like, are
Yeah.
you a community-based co-working space or is it more like a startup where you have a couple of offices with different startups? But yeah,
How is the
when I
community
was
there? Non-existing or?
they just started actually, like
They
they
just started.
started like almost 8 months in the beginning of this year, eight
Okay.
months, 9 months. So they still figuring out the best way how to make and bring people together.
Yes.
So when I coming here, they even started to opening up, not opening up, but gathering the new community of tech people here
Uh-huh.
in Canggu, which is great because I didn't really see a lot of tech people, even though everyone is here. But the tech community, sorry, not the tech people, the tech community is not so much here. But actually, after they started this like meetup, a
Mm.
lot of people started to come. It's good, but yeah, it's just very different comparing to Hubud, man.
For sure. It
I
also
mean,
so much depends on the person managing, the community.
that's
Because
true.
you're just one of the most perfect people I've ever met, to be a
Oh,
community
thank you.
manager. You have such an amazing personality that fits that role so much. And
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, one of the most difficult things to do is to build like a strong community, I think,
Mm,
in a co-working place. And I
yeah.
think Hubud, I mean, so far from all the co-working places that I've tested and or tried, it's still at the best community that I experience, and it's really because of you, I think,
Mm.
because you did so much, yeah, great things there.
Because like Yelis, fun fact, not fun fact, but I mean like in the beginning of my career there at Hubud, I was actually applying for a junior events manager, right? So like most of my work was actually focusing more on the events itself. I don't
Mm.
really know that a community manager is a thing. So I was like, well, what is a community manager? Because somehow we had that role. And then what I do was only like events. And then after a couple of years, like 2 years working there, they decided to give me a promotion to become a community manager.
Mm.
And I was like, what is community manager? What do they do? But actually, after discussing it, it's also kind of aligned with what I do before, which is events, because somehow
Yeah.
with events, it's also a platform for a community manager
Uh-huh.
to to like making sure that the community is there. That's a platform where we can bring everyone's together, where everyone can also collaborate on there in the events. Like at Hubud, we had a lot of events. I
Hmm.
guess that's what makes Hubud very strong in terms of community.
Right. The events
Uh,
definitely help. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
like learning events, social events.
Yes.
Here, I mean, not, there's a couple of co-working space started to doing that here, even this co-working space as well,
Hmm.
but it's just not there. I don't
Yeah.
know why. But yeah, community manager, so interesting.
Um, was there still something more actually that you wanted to on the topic that you wanted to talk about that you want to talk about?
Mm, actually, I the first one is growth. The second one,
Oh no, like the first one, is there still something
oh, the
that you
first
kind
one.
of wanted to, yeah,
No,
more
I
dive
guess
into that, or
I guess it's opened up my mind so much about our like conversation before, Yalis, because sometimes I mean like in the beginning I didn't really thought about it so much when it comes to professional journey and how I growth on my professional life as well. Um yeah, it's a good, I mean, for me, it's a good reminder. And I guess there's a lot of things that I can try to apply to the company that I'm working on right now. Because working as a people manager
Mhm.
in a startup company, I never had experience in there as well, right? So it's still like, actually right now, I jumping into something that I don't really know that much.
Mhm.
But I'm so glad that the people that I've worked there, they're pretty much open to a lot of my ideas. Actually, the reason why I joined this company in the beginning because he was also, well, he was a Hubud member before, and he was actually the one who reaching out to me, and he was like, "Hey, Cash, I guess
Mm.
you have this persona where you can bring people together. So we would like to making sure that the people who are in our company are satisfied, and then making sure that they have a learning experience there as well inside the company. We would like to make sure that everyone is happy, and then making sure that everyone have a career growth as well when they're coming into the company. So I guess you're the right person for doing that. So I was like, eh. So
You are though.
uh, I mean, it's been great. I wouldn't complain at all because a lot of new things that I learned from there, which makes me think as well. I guess that's part of the growth.
Exactly right.
Mm,
When you
yeah.
learn new things or when you have to do new things as an
Mm,
individual or as a group, you grow
mm,
because you kind of level up. You get some experience points.
yeah. Yeah. Agree. Okay. Yeah. I guess that's it. The reason in the beginning why I would like to come up with that topic because that's been something that I have in mind this
Uh-huh.
past week, and I just
It's
curious
great.
on like what do you think about that and how you see growth, please.
Great
But yeah,
topic. Yeah. Yeah.
thanks,
Um,
man.
Let me actually see another one that I had. Uh, okay, something very different.
Okay.
Which one of the two first? Okay, let me ask this. So okay, like you are like such a positive person. Like whenever I saw you in Hubud, because that's mainly where I saw you or at the events. You're always smiling. You're always happy.
Mm,
Like it's incredible. But I'm actually curious to ask you, and I also just thought for myself, so I will share some things too. But I
mhm,
actually wanted to know, like, what do you do when you don't feel happy? Like when you're feeling down? Like, are
mm,
there specific things that you think about now that help you to sort of, yeah, elevate your moods?
mm. That's actually part of the other thing that I would like to cover as well, actually.
Okay. Is it very?
Um,
It's very much
I
the
I guess
same, or is it a bit
I
different?
guess it's related because for me,
Hmm.
I was like to discuss a little bit about mindset. And
Okay.
when you're asking me about that question,
Mm.
I guess a lot of things. The reason why I'm like this because I love talking to people, but of course there's some times when I feel super down and then very low.
I guess
But
so.
I'm a type of person who's very extrovert. But as an
Yep.
extrovert people, I might say of course it takes a lot of energy. But when I'm feeling down,
What do you do when you
Sometimes,
think about it now? A moment when you were feeling down that you were like, this helped me, to feel less down. And if you need some time to think, I can already share one of the things that I do, or I
um,
can give you a little bit of time there.
you can you let's share yours first because
And
I'm
that really
curious.
doesn't have to be complicated things, right? Most very simple things help often. So
Hmm.
one of the first things that I had is super simple, but when I think about what helps me is to exercise, is to
Oh,
be
okay.
out my head and to be in my body. And
Hmm.
so when I'm feeling down, I mean, I when I'm also not feeling down, I go and exercise. But especially when I feel down, I'm like, all right, let me go and walk or climb. Mainly climb helps me a lot. So yeah, I just go to the climbing gym, and afterwards I
Hmm.
feel so much better. Helps,
Hmm.
every time. That's one.
I okay.
I
That's
got
one of the
three more.
activities. Oh, okay. All right. Do you want to share all of them first to me? Maybe it
Yeah,
helps
all
me
right.
as well.
Okay. Then another very simple one is to simply, when you feel down, what helps is to call someone, and to
Mm,
actually talk. And I think I used to have like struggle with this to
mm,
be okay with not being okay, or or to not
mm,
feel okay, and to actually say that to someone. But if you're someone, if someone comes to you to ask you for advice, you always feel great, right? I mean, it feels nice
mhm.
to be able to help
Yeah,
someone,
of
and that's
course.
always what I try to tell myself, that other people really want to help you. And
Mhm.
for some people it can be a tricky thing to go and call someone, and mainly because they
Mhm.
don't want to be bothering someone, for example.
Mhm.
But if you have that thought, then just say that. I mean, remind
Mhm.
yourself that it feels pretty nice to actually, have someone come to you to ask for advice or for help. But yes, calling a friend, just talking with someone, sharing what you're feeling, it's such a good
Mhm.
thing. Um, Another thing is, this is more sort of from our therapy, but
Mhm.
you can write down, like, when you're feeling down, there might be certain thoughts, dominating your head. And it's to actually write those thoughts down, the automatic thoughts that you're having from, like, I don't
Mhm.
know, like, no one likes me or something, I don't know.
Mhm.
And then actually writing next to it, rational response. So
Mhm.
writing down all the automatic thoughts that you're having that are making you feel the way that you're feeling now, and then just taking a rational response, like thinking just rationally about it, like, how true is this? How
Mhm.
true is it that no one likes me? And
Mhm.
then if you rationally think about it, everyone is someone that likes them. This is just an example,
Mhm.
right? But you
Mhm.
can do this about any feeling, like, oh, I feel
Mhm.
alone, there's no one for me. Okay, that's an
Mhm.
automatic thought. Okay, write down a rational response. There's people there that you can call, right? So
Mhm.
you're not completely alone. That's
Mhm.
another sort of thing that I use when I'm feeling down.
Mhm.
And then the last one, um, is just sort of, I just wrote down like six things. It's basically to go for a walk and
Mhm.
just look at, you know on your walk, look at six things that you find very beautiful. Like, if you're in a
Mhm.
forest, and you see a beautiful tree, just look at it
Mhm.
and pay attention to it. Just look at it for a couple of minutes, and it's just
Mhm.
mainly sort of mindfulness exercise.
Mhm.
And it's getting out of your head a bit and more in your
Mhm.
body and feeling. And when you're feeling down, paying attention to the beautiful things that are just in your surrounding. It can be in so
Mhm.
many things. I don't know, always lifts my mood again.
Mhm.
So these were just four
Okay.
things that I kind of directly thought about when I feel down that help me.
Mm. I get so if I can share like
Yes,
my thoughts
please.
on that. I mean, like after this, I guess this is something that I've been feeling recently as well.
Mhm.
Like something that I've been struggling myself as well, and I'm trying my best to find a way on how can I cure that. cure, whatever. But when I'm in that situation, sometimes I just go by myself
Mm-hmm.
because of course I usually surrounded by people, and then
Yeah.
sometimes it's also draining, right? Like being around people and then someone coming up to you and then listening to stories. I mean, I love that.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. Because I love talking to people and I love meeting people. But
But your batteries, need to be charged
but
sometimes
yeah,
too by alone time.
yeah. One thing that I just learned actually by being a community manager
Uh-huh.
before, knowing that I have to be like mostly like 18 to like 10 to 18 hours, not 18, 10 hours, let's say, being around member,
Yeah.
and then kind of like being the person who's like, okay, how's everyone doing? And you know, one thing that I learned so much of that experience is basically having some time for yourself.
Mm.
So let's say like with the work that I used to do before, I work from Monday to Friday, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then that's the time for me to be socialized with people, like being around members or being around the people that I met. And then on the weekend, how can I recharge? Is basically I just go or have some time for myself.
Mm.
Like I just do things that I want to do, but by
Right.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just go to, let's say in Ubud, I just go to Champuhan Rich Walk and just have a little walk
Great
surrounded
walk.
by nature. And then it's just leveling up my mood so much already.
Yeah.
Listening to music
Mm.
while doing that is really helpful because I love music.
Mm-hmm.
And I just listen to the music that I love, and then looking up to the surroundings.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that Bali is surrounded by that, so it's easier for me to do it. I don't know what I'm gonna do in Jakarta, but I guess it's going to be the same, but the experience is just going to be different.
Are you going to
But
Jakarta?
I'm actually going there for a couple of days, but it's okay.
Ah, yeah, you're not
Uh,
leaving Bali, right?
no, not
Okay, okay, got it.
no. That's never an option. Yeah. I don't want to, but yeah, having some time for yourself to
Yeah.
recharge is actually very important. Knowing that myself as an extrovert as well, of
Yeah.
course, you thought that as an extrovert, oh, okay, you always put in this smile or like the face, but actually, when you're feeling down and you just need to differentiate when it's you need to be aware when it's the time for you to meet people
Mm-hmm.
and the time for you to recharge so
Yeah.
then you can meet people again, because of course as an extrovert I actually get the energy from people
Yep.
when I'm surrounded by people, and I talk to the people who have like a good energy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe it sounds woo,
Yeah, I
but
got you. Yeah.
for me, like when you're surrounded like a positive energy people, it's just making me like, okay, it's fine, it's good.
Yeah.
But it depends on the situation as well. But yeah, having some time for yourself, listening to music or do
Mm-hmm.
things that you like to do for a couple of day or day,
Yeah.
to recharge is very important. Uh, I agree. The second one, I agree with you on writing down your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually started to do my journaling as well this past 2 weeks,
Yeah.
3 weeks, I guess. Um, and it's been helping me so much on figuring out on my mood, on my emotion, on my feelings, because after writing it down, all the things that I have in mind and looking back to it, you started
Mm.
to recognize, okay, you had that feelings. And when you're having that feelings, what happens to you? What do you feel? Because with journaling, um, what I learned
Mm-hmm.
is basically just doing it by the end. Well, for me, it's the end of the day
Mm-hmm.
where you don't really have to think about anything.
Mm-hmm.
You just make a time for like 1 hour, or even for me, like sometimes it's 30 minutes or 15 minutes of writing. And then I just writing down all the thoughts that I have in mind. I don't really have to think about what I should write. Just put your pens down and then
Right.
writing down everything. And then
Yeah.
afterwards, after a couple of weeks doing it and then looking up to it, it's really helped me so much on recognizing my emotion, recognizing about how I react towards this feelings or emotion when I had it. Um, but yeah,
Was there a specific reason why you started with the journaling? Because you said that you started with it 3 weeks ago.
yeah,
Yeah? Or just because you were
of
like,
course.
let me try this?
I mean, this is something that I've been heard a lot from the people that I met in
Ah,
Ubud,
to journal?
right? Or in Hubud. Yeah, doing journaling
Yeah.
for to reconnect with yourself or something. So I was just like, okay, I never done this. Let me just try it. And
Uh-huh.
it's been great. It's been interesting. Um, I I actually don't really doing it anymore because sometimes I get tired. But
And you fall
looking
asleep,
up,
or
not not like me falling asleep, but it's just like so much, yeah, to write down.
it takes
But
some energy too to write stuff down
ac-
every day, right?
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
But afterwards, looking back to all the things that I've been writing down the past weeks,
Mm.
actually it's opened up my mind as well about what is happening, and then like knowing about my emotion better, how I
Hmm.
feel in that situation, how what is happening with me, something like that. So it's very interesting exercise, I might
Hmm.
say. Um, and what else? When I'm feeling, yeah, I was agree with you as well on calling your friends, not because uh, I mean, I when we can share, and basically it's just a human being, I guess. When we can share our thoughts and get feedback from people, it's such a nice feeling. And then um having someone listen to your stories and then get the feedback out of it, especially coming up from the people who loves you so much, like your best friends,
Yep.
let's say. Yeah, it helps me so much when I have a bad days or like going through a bad situation, because talking about it, especially to some of your closest friend, it open up your perspective so much on how you deal with
Mm.
that situation.
Yeah. It helps to have
Because
a second opinion often.
yeah, because of course you have this thought. I'm a type of person who is very overthinking.
Mm.
And sometimes when I'm talking with my friends, they giving me another perspective that
Yeah.
makes me think as well. But it's a new way of thinking, which helped me on opening up my mind better
Yeah.
towards some situation. I guess hearing other people experience when we have a certain challenge can also help, because everyone experience is different and
Hmm.
everyone's is reacting different way on certain type of challenge. And when you hear another people experience on how to solve the challenge itself that you have, it open up your mind on
Yeah.
how to uh, solve those things, let's say, for yourself. I mean, at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to decide on what you're going to do, right?
It's true.
But having those thoughts and I mean having those things shared to your friends and then get feedback from them, yeah, it's amazing.
It gives possibilities to then eventually, like you said, choose, how to best approach whatever you're
Mhm.
struggling with or going through.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Any other things that you do or think about, when you're feeling down? Or do you feel like those things that you just shared are sort of mainly the ones that really help you?
I guess that's the only thing. But let's say if it's just like one of those bad days,
Hmm.
I just listen to music. That's the easiest way for me.
All right.
Listening to my favorite music and having this like positive music about, uh, and then it's just
Yeah,
help me
like
boosting up my mood again.
what type of music do you mostly listen to? Mainly like happier music or
Mhm.
mixed with sad music or like any
I
genre?
guess it
Like
dep I guess it depends on the feeling that you're
Okay.
go through, right? Let's say
Okay. Yeah.
if I want to feel happy, I go to happy song.
That makes
But
sense.
sometimes when I'm feeling sad, I actually listen to sad song and then I feel better afterwards as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I feel connected with this artist so much and how
Exactly.
they write the lyrics, and somehow it helps me to burst up my emotion. So for me, listening to music, it's been very helping. The easiest and the quickest way, at least, uh, to solve the problem. Um, but yeah, one of the other thing that I'm still learning to do is actually to just embrace it. Like when you're feeling
Mm.
super sad, but I
Yeah.
just don't know
Yeah.
how to embrace it in a good way. But
To just
I mean,
be like, all right, I'm feeling
just
sad, and
yeah,
that's how it is now, and that's fine.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's something that I'm still learning
Yeah.
because let's say this past week, there's a lot of things happening in my life that somehow it's makes me feeling sad and I just don't know how to deal with that situation. So I was like, okay, now I'm here. And I guess all the things that I have to do is just embrace the feeling that right now you're feeling sad and it is okay. And there will be a better days. Just believe in like, changing my mindset a
Yep.
little bit towards that feelings. If you feel sad, just be sad as long as you can. And when you're ready, you move on towards that, and it's okay to have those feelings. I don't know. I, I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, it's kind of
Yes,
like all over the place, man.
but
But
you're right. You don't always have to do a crazy amount of things to become happy, or it's sometimes just
yeah,
about sitting with it and being like, all right, this is how today I'm feeling, and
mm,
that's okay too. Can't be happy all of the time.
mm,
Um, but I am also a fan of like, okay, if you can actually do something about it,
mm,
you feel sad because you had a fight with someone,
mm,
go and call them and make it better. But
mm,
there's certain things, of course, that just require you to kind of just be with it and
mm,
I can't accept the feeling how you're feeling, which
mm.
is fine.
Yeah. Actually, like I'm not a type of person who talks so much about my feelings to people because I'm very protected with it.
Mm.
Actually, that's me. But yeah, so there's some certain type of situation where I just don't feel like to share to people because maybe it's too much for them to handle. So
Mm-hmm.
there must be one time when just have to deal with that feelings alone, and then I just need to, like just feel it, like suck it
Mm-hmm.
up and just do it, let's say, and just be in that feelings and be okay with it. And then, yeah, gosh, you'll get better. Just remember,
But it's not
change my
easy,
mind.
right? It's never
Yeah, it's
easy.
not easy. It's not easy. That's why I've been in this journey for 2 weeks for making sure that everything is okay. But yeah, it's okay. There will be a better days.
Exactly.
That's kind of like my mantra right now. Oh my God, sounds so woo-woo again.
Nah, but it's a good mantra. One
But
that I use often is that this too shall pass.
yeah,
You can use
that's
this
true.
for both for good things and bad things. If you're in
Mm,
a really awesome moment with friends, to remind
mm,
yourself like, yep, this will not last forever. But if you're a
mm,
really bad one, to also remind yourself like, this will also not last forever. There will
mm.
be, like you said, better days.
But how do you feel? How do you react actually because when you're saying like, okay, this too shall pass, and then you're like, okay, if the moment is like too good, you also use that, right? So I was like, because I'm a type of person when I'm very happy,
mm,
I'm just happy.
yes,
Like
yes.
I don't want to think about it. I'm happy. But when I'm sad, that's the time when it strikes me so much that I have that feeling. So that too shall pass. That applies.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm happy, I just how How,
I
how
get
is it?
sometimes I have moments where I'm like in a conversation with friends and I'm or like or somewhere very beautiful. I'm like
Mm,
that. I just stop and just stand there for a second. I'm like, this is such an awesome moment,
mm-hmm,
and then I just sometimes quickly let that phrase, this too shall pass, kind of enter my head to really
mm-hmm,
just be grateful mainly and to
mm.
enjoy what's happening now.
Ah, okay. All right.
Yeah. But like, I mean,
Okay.
most of the time, like when I'm happy, I'm just happy, and I don't always think about standing still and being grateful for it. I'm just like, this is so great, and that's all. Um,
That's okay.
but I think it's yeah. Often I do remind myself just to be very
Mm,
grateful for the amazing moment that's happening right now.
yeah,
And
I
it takes maybe
agree.
like like a little, like a second, right? It doesn't have to
Mm,
take minutes. Um,
mm.
but yeah.
Yeah, I guess just being present and being
Yeah,
aware
it's
of the
basically
situation
being present
itself.
for, yeah, that's it.
That's true. Agree.
Let's, if you want, move
Hmm?
to another topic of yours.
Uh,
But I first
I,
have to quickly go to the toilet.
oh yeah, sure, sure,
Yeah.
sure. No worries. Let me do that as well. Next topic from Cash.
Yes.
Ah, um, actually, I don't really have a lot of option right now, Halis, because first one we already discussed a little bit about um
That was
uh
about
growth.
growth, yes. Uh-huh.
Mhm. And then mindset. That one is that's kind of like covering up a little bit on our last conversation, I
Okay,
might say.
then if you want to go to the last one that you have, that's great too.
The last one is actually around community, and we already talked about that a little bit. But
Uh-huh.
maybe one thing that I'm very curious, knowing that you've been traveling around, and this is something that I've been uh, into a lot of people that I've met here as well in not only Ubud, but also most of the people that I met here in Bali. Um, like we have a lot of like people who travel here. Like I met a lot of people who have been travel, and
Yes,
I
yeah.
believe that you're one of them. You've been travel around. Um, if you if you can share me,
Uh-huh.
like what is why why for you travel is very why travel for you is a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and what do you like so much about what do you like about traveling?
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, I never been traveled that much, and at least like I only been to Bali and a couple of country, and that's it.
Mm.
But what's the most, or what makes you like traveling?
Good question. Because basically, yeah, I've traveled a bit, yes.
Mhm.
Because I started like traveling like long term when I was 18.
Oh
But I was
wow.
like in a very bad place in myself,
Mm,
like where I was living. Like, or like life in general was pretty dark for me inside,
mm,
and I found like a volunteer project in South Africa
mm,
to do, and I traveled 2 months to there, stayed at a host family, and it just opened up like everything for me, like new possibilities,
mm,
new people, a complete different surrounding that opens also like possibilities and new insights,
mm,
and just experiencing a whole different culture. Like it was so awesome to know that life can look so different just
mm,
depending on where you are in the world. And I don't know, from there on, then I just like traveled for years basically on
mm,
around the world. And every time it's just the same thing. Like it's personal growth actually. Like I grow so
mm,
much as a person because you're in new places, new challenges that you have to face, and just the people that you meet. I don't know, so many amazing people everywhere
Mm.
in yeah, every just corner of the world there is amazing people. And yeah, I don't know, I just learned so much from traveling that I just wanted to keep. And also, of course, seeing new things, right? Seeing new,
Mm.
what you see in Bali, you can't see in Belgium, like
Mm.
you don't see wild monkeys here in Belgium because that would be crazy. Uh, or other stuff, right? You don't have a jungle
Yeah.
here. So it's just also that, just seeing the amazing things that the world has to offer.
Mm.
And yeah,
If
yeah,
you
there's
if
so
you
many
could
things to
choose,
be honest,
Mhm.
but these were
what
just some.
yeah, what is the best country that you ever visited?
I have one, although it's also a very different difficult question because every country
Hmm.
brought something amazing, I would say. But the one that I would say that I thought was like I could live here, or I would like to go there again,
Hmm.
was New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
It's like you have
Yeah,
Australia and New Zealand all the way to
yeah,
the end of the world.
yeah, yeah.
But I was there for 3 months and bought a car second-handed from other travelers, and
Hmm.
then drove with my ex-girlfriends from the north to the south, back to the north, which took us like
Hmm.
3 months. Um, and I don't know, I mean, it's for me personally, right? It's like it has mountains, so much
Hmm.
nature, very friendly people.
Hmm.
I don't know, I just had an amazing experience there. And
Okay,
yeah, I thought it was great.
okay. I mean, I heard, well, I have one of my friend as well, one of my closest friend who was living in New Zealand and she
Mm,
loves it so much.
yeah.
She stayed there for like 3 years or something.
Oof, that's
And
great.
I heard, yeah, I heard a lot of like good stories there because they're pretty much like, I mean, it's not as of course it's not as crowded as Australia because New Zealand is so, like you, there's a lot of nature there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard the way of living there is so nice.
Yep.
And one of the other country that I've been getting a lot of like recommendation as well, actually, from people
Mm.
is Portugal.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Portugal is great. Yep.
because for like right now, the reason why I asked this question
Uh-huh.
because I've been wanting to travel. Like I really want to start travel again, hopefully by next year, and
Yeah.
I just want to like get another perspective. Like coming up from you, what's your best country to visit? And I'm actually thinking to travel to Europe, hopefully.
Oh man, that would
I've
be
been
awesome.
yeah, I've been planning this for like long time, but hopefully next year. I actually wanted to go to Portugal and a couple of other countries
Is it?
there.
Yeah, is like Portugal the first one that you kind of want to go to? I mean, it's a great option, by the way. But
Yeah,
and are there any other countries in? Because like when you're in Europe, it's so easy to
it's so easy
visit
to travel, right?
so many countries because they're all just next to
Yes.
each other, right? Are there
And
any other ones that you're like, oh yeah, I really want to go there?
I guess the reason why I choose Europe, let's say in the
Yeah,
beginning, is because of course the opportunities of like visiting any other countries around it is easier compared to like you're going to I don't know, other like America, so far from each other.
yeah,
I mean, not the country, but the
yeah, yeah,
places
yeah.
itself. Like in Europe, I heard is very interesting for first-time traveler, like going far, because in each country they have different culture, and I
Yes,
love
different
seeing that.
language.
Different language, different, I don't know,
Yes,
infrastructure, environment. Let's say you can see a lot of difference when you're visiting let's say Amsterdam
yeah.
and then or Netherlands
Hmm.
and you're going to Portugal, let's say.
Like
The way of Mhm.
I personally love Europe so much.
Mm,
Yeah, Europe is amazing. So I could 100% recommend you to go to Europe. Yeah,
mm,
and and sorry to interrupt, of course, but and
mhm.
if you're like in Europe and you're close to Belgium, then you're so I totally have a place for you to stay at if you want to be
Woo.
here. Yeah.
I will let you know then.
Plus, if you go
Because
to
yeah,
Netherlands, you're kind of passing Belgium anyway.
yeah,
It's
that's true.
yeah. I
Actually,
mean,
it's kind of like on my map as well because I would love to start my journey in Amsterdam. Not Amsterdam particular, but Netherlands.
in Netherlands, yeah.
Because, yeah, because actually it turns out I have a family there.
You
And
have a
then I was like,
family there?
yeah, it turns out I have. I guess
What?
it's also because of the history before. And then I had a couple of my closest, not closest, but it's a, it's a relative of my grandpa, and then they've been deciding to live there since a long time ago, and then now actually I was telling my mom like, hey, I want to go and visit Europe and I would like to go to Netherlands, and she said like, like we actually have family there. And I was
What?
like, what?
Huh?
And then yeah, you can actually visit them, and then
But you never
let me
met them.
introduce. I never met them, so
Wow.
I was actually planning my Europe trip before the Corona, and then I supposed to go in May last year,
Oh, you
but of
already had a
course
date that you
yeah, I
wanted to
already
go?
have a date
Okay.
last year, but it's fall down, of course, because of
Yeah.
Corona. But as an Indonesian traveling to Europe, there's a lot of like requirements, like applying for the visa. You need
Yeah.
to do it like at least 2 months ago, and then you need
Mm.
to apply to the embassy. A lot of things. And then somehow, of course, when you're applying it to visit your family, it's easier for you to get the visa to go there. So that's why my mom was connecting me to this family member that I never knew before. And I was like, hey, and then, hey, this is Cash. Yeah, I'm actually thinking to visiting Netherlands, and I heard that I'm the son of Faiza, which is my mom. I'm
Yeah.
the son of Faiza, and I would like to visit there. And they're like, ah, hi, nice to meet you.
How cool
And
is
then
that?
it's so cool. And then I was like, she sending me picture of her family that I never saw before. And she just said like, okay, so this is my son and this is my daughter. This is my husband. So we live in Den Haag. I was like,
Ah, yeah.
okay. I heard
Yeah.
about Den Haag because we had a couple of, well, from the people that I met at Hubud, we had a lot of like Dutch people here as well,
Yeah,
right?
probably.
And then
Yeah.
and then I had a couple of friends who lived there, so I was like, oh, okay, oh, this is Cash. I live in Bali right now. And then yeah, it's so weird, but I would visit Netherlands first, because of that,
Yeah.
like my surprise family, and then I would like to go to Portugal because a lot of people saying that Portugal is the best way, the best one so far, and
I mean,
and
every
yeah.
European country is so different that it's.
Mm,
But Portugal, I mean, there's a lot of digital nomads too. It's very, I mean, way cheaper than the Netherlands, for example, or
of course.
Scandinavia, like Norway.
Mhm.
And it's pretty. It's beautiful there. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
definitely all in all a beautiful place. Yes. But also places like Austria. If you like mountains, or the south of Germany, like Bavaria, that area is
Hmm.
called, is so stunning and very
Mm.
different as well. Again, different
Okay.
language, different culture. Again, um, yeah. There's a lot of
Yeah.
options. And I was
Yeah.
also
I would
thinking,
like.
if you love waterfalls, Iceland. Have you heard of it?
Ooh, of course. I
Yeah,
know.
it's pretty expensive, I guess. But it's just a paradise of waterfalls. There's waterfalls everywhere, and they're
Really?
stunning.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep it as an option. I would say maybe you know someone there, right? The handy
Yeah,
thing
that's
that you
true.
have of being, of having worked in Hubud is that you know people everywhere.
Yeah.
So you could
Man, I'm super
literally
grateful.
you could
Yeah.
almost stay in every European country and know someone, I guess.
If I go to Norway, I have Benedicta
She
already.
would love to host you. I think. Yes.
I love her and I miss her so much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Europe, that's why I would like to go there because I guess it's easier with all of my connection that I have there as well. And then I heard it's a good place for first-time travelers to
Yeah.
go to explore, and a lot of different culture from each countries. So I was like, okay,
Also, the
that's my
food
plan.
is so different almost in every country.
I can imagine.
So it's so crazy how much variety you have in such a small scale. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm excited for you actually that you're going to Europe.
yeah,
Hopefully next year then, I guess.
yeah. Actually, I bought myself a festival tickets for next year already. I don't
Festival
know how.
tickets to where?
Yeah, Barcelona.
Which
But
festival?
it's Primavera.
It's probably a pretty no one, I guess.
Well, they have a great lineup, so that's why I go there. A lot
Okay,
of like my favorite artists are playing there, so
awesome.
I all one of the other places that I would like to go when I'm in Europe is also Spain.
Barcelona is great.
So Barcelona it is.
I actually lived there
So
for a while. It's an awesome city.
really,
Yeah, it's an awesome city.
right? See, I'm so excited. And well, actually, like I love concerts so much, and
Hmm.
my goal, if I had a chance to travel, I would like to check out any other concert, like any concert or festival that they have on that country.
Hmm.
Because I used to be like a concert geek, just so you know, since I was like 13, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I had I had my first concert when I was 13, and
Damn.
it was the time when it changed my life so much, and that's
Mm.
also the reason why I decided to become an events, like I would like to work around events. That's why I applied to Hubud first around events. So I just don't know what am I going to do, but I know I love events. So
Okay.
because of concert and music
Interesting.
festival.
Very
Yeah.
interesting. Would you never love to host a music festival then,
Man,
or?
that's actually no, that's actually my dream. Like
Yeah.
if you can ask me, if you ask me what are one thing that I would like to do before I die, I would like to make my own music festival one day
Ah.
because I love music, I love events, I know how great it is, and every time I go to a music festival or a concert, there's just this certain feelings when you feel like so alive, so nice to be surrounded people just going there, listening to the music that you love together with the other fans. It's so nice.
But this should be possible, right? Like you have the skills, you just have to apply it to a different industry.
I know, I know. Actually, it was in my mind before
I mean,
when
but
I
look,
was
you're still super young, right? Like you have still years and years and years, but you totally could do this at some point, I would say.
yeah, I would do it. I would do it for sure. When I have the opportunity to do it, I would definitely take it. Yeah.
Let me know. I'll be coming to that festival and
Of course, everyone is invited. But yeah. Okay. Okay, one question about traveling as well, because
Mhm.
I'm very curious. What if I can ask you, what is the downside of traveling?
The first one that
What would it be?
yeah, the first one that comes to mind right now. There's probably, well, yeah, other ones, I guess, but the one that just comes directly to my mind now, and this is a little bit of a funny one to say as a downside.
Hmm.
Um, it's so it's sometimes that you when you travel that you meet so many people, so many
Hmm.
amazing people
Hmm.
that you can't, always see. I mean, most of the people that I have met, I have, I will not see again. That
Hmm.
I really felt a connection with, or that was really like, oh, these are great. I mean, awesome people. But
Hmm.
because there's so many people that you meet, that you have to say just goodbye a lot of times. And it's the same like going to Bali. I think like I love it a lot to go to Bali, but a lot of times, yes. I mean, well, okay, these days with the internet, it helps that you can stay connected.
Hmm.
But most of the time, it just kind of stays with that that you're just
Mm-hmm.
connected online, but because of distance, if someone lives in the US, it's a bit far
Mm-hmm.
to just see each other in the weekends or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and again, this is like a funny kind of downside, right? Because it's amazing to be able to meet so many people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this is where I personally also, after a while, like now, felt like to have a bit more balance in my life and
Mm-hmm.
travel less
Mm-hmm.
to just connect more with the people in the surrounding that I'm mainly staying in.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so much gone, so much traveling, and never really staying too much in a place
Mm-hmm.
that I always had to say goodbye to people. And that was a little bit of a downside to me after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
Okay,
but
that's
again, it's a
mhm.
two-sided thing, right? Like it's so amazing, but
Okay.
you need some balance with everything, I guess, and that's mainly what
Mm.
I'm saying then.
I guess the reason why I asked that as well, like working here in Bali, especially in the hospitality industry before in a co-working space, especially having a lot of like community members from different countries. Of course, I pretty much kind of like traveling in like one side,
You
like
do, right?
in one space, right?
Yes,
Like
exactly.
you can learn about like new people from different countries, different culture.
Yeah.
But one of the downside, let's say, is saying goodbye to all those people.
Right. So you
I
know
kind of
exactly what I
like
talk about, right?
I pretty much aware of it,
Yeah.
but I actually pretty curious from your perspective as someone who say goodbye when you do travel.
My
Because
perspective.
yeah, because let's say like me being the one who stay, it's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
But how you, let's say, as a traveler, saying goodbye, because for me like saying goodbye to people is right now it's kind of like one of those things, okay, just another goodbye.
Yeah.
But like you as a traveler who leave the place itself and then go to another place and then okay saying hi again and then goodbye again, okay, that happens. So what's your perspective on that?
I remember that I stopped saying goodbye to people and just said instead, thank you. Because I don't know,
Mm,
I just didn't after a while like to say the words goodbye all the time.
mm.
Um, yeah, but
I
my
guess for
pers-
you, sorry.
no, go on.
No, I mean, like, I guess for you is thank you, and for me it's a see you later.
See you later.
Because yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Yes,
I would love to meet them again. So I just again didn't.
exactly. And you never know in the end, right? There's definitely some
Mm-hmm.
people that I've met that I do still see. So that's why exactly I also don't per se want to say goodbye with the same reason as you. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not per se that it's per se has to be goodbye. There's always a possibility to see them again,
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Okay, that's good.
and it doesn't have to
Uh,
be a sad thing. Goodbye. That's why I said
yeah.
just rather like thank you for everything for hosting me
Mm-hmm.
or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I rather want to make something sort of more positive out of it instead of like goodbye always sounds sometimes more of a sad thing to say or like a
Mm-hmm.
negative, well, not negative, but yeah, more sad, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that.
So I
Yeah.
just skip it and just say like thanks, yeah, and maybe see you in the future or something.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thanks for sharing, Alice.
No worries.
Good insight. Yeah, I
Um,
guess that's all the thing that I have in mind so far in terms of the uh topics. Do you have
awesome.
anything?
Yeah, great topic. Um, so I have a last one for you,
Mhm.
and I want to ask your advice. So
From Cash?
yeah,
Okay.
for sure, man. You have knowledge. So let me just read what I wrote. Okay. Like okay, so by now people kind of know, I guess, that you are the community and event manager, or you have been in Hubud for 3 years, like you said.
Mhm.
Um, I'm curious because I also in my own startup want to hold more events,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm curious to ask you for advice. Like, do you what are essential tips on organizing and holding a good event that
Mm.
you know from experience, from having held maybe events that didn't go right and that you now know how to do better? Are there anything's coming to mind that you know, like, okay, if you want to hold an event, these are some essential things to do?
Mm.
And I also have two events that I want to show you, and
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see if you can look at it and say like, okay, I would do this a bit different, or any
Mm.
input that you have. But
Okay.
if there's something already coming to mind that you have, like, okay, if you want to hold an event, it's pretty essential that you do.
I guess the one of the most essential thing that you need to do is to know your audience first. Like who's your
Mm,
same as business, I guess. Like you need to know like who's your target audience, right?
gotcha.
And then you need to know like what do they need
Yes.
instead of like creating something that you have in mind and you're just like doing it.
Mm.
I The reason why I said that is like
That's
based
by
on
the way
my
two very
experience.
good points. Yes. Hmm.
Um, I, I created a couple of events before. Well, at Hubud, and then
Yeah.
somehow I was just do or like curate. Like I didn't really curate the topic pretty well. I just
Hmm.
I just do events, so then it's just happened. Let's say there was one of those days when I don't really have a lot of resources, but somehow I was just like, okay, let me just create an event, but I don't really know what, even though that I know my audience was that person, but I don't really know what do they need actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when
Hmm.
I creating that events that actually some topics that they don't really interested with, of course, why people have to join your events in the beginning because this is not the topic that they're interested in.
Yep.
So by knowing your audience first and then knowing what do they need, it's one of the essential things that
Mm.
you need to do or you need to think about before you creating the events itself. Of course, creating the agenda, schedule, activities, it can comes later.
Yeah.
But when you're about to create an event, I guess you need to first see the target audience and what do they need.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
as business.
It's
Uh,
true. Um.
but yeah,
Mhm.
no, I mean, I still remember like one time I was talking to one of the biggest promoter here in Indonesia. He's one of the person who brings like music festival here to Jakarta
Oh, yeah.
because of course it's kind of like the center. And then there was this one time when we had a couple of discussion. He's actually the one who inspired me so much to go to, go creating events because that's something that I pretty enjoy, but I just want to know like from his
Mm.
inside what's his experience. And then he told me there was this one time when he was about to bring an artist. He loved this artist so much, but somehow they don't really, because the target audience are the Indonesian or the Jakartans, right? But somehow this artist is not pretty much well known yet in
Hmm.
Jakarta or in Indonesia. So he doesn't really decided to bring this person or this artist to come to Jakarta in the beginning. So he always listening based on what are the requests from all the people in Jakarta. Let's say once in a while, he
Yeah.
always creating this. Well, at that time, Twitter was very famous. Everyone used Twitter, and he always just throw a question. Oh, okay. Hey, who's artist that you want to bring to Indonesia right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
And he just basically doing like creating the events or concert based on the feedback that they get from
Yeah.
the tweet itself, um, rather than him just bringing like random artists that he knows he likes,
Yeah.
and then when he's doing it here, it's such a bad luck. Let's say it doesn't work, or the artist doesn't really work.
Makes sense.
Um, well, one of uh I guess that's one of the thing that I learned from him so much, and then something that I try to apply every time I create my own events or creating the programs uh to do for my work. I
Mm,
just first listen to the audience, knowing your audience, who is your audience,
yeah.
get to know what are the things that they need in terms.
Hey, did it
No,
was
it
the
was the
internet there
internet.
or?
Yeah, it was the internet reset. Do you remember at the co-working space? Well, at Hubud usually it always happen every midnight when the providers start to reconnect again. Like you need to disconnect and then reconnect again every
Oh,
midnight because the router are trying to refresh. And I guess it's also because of the uh, what is it, the provider that they have, I don't know, but something like that, so that happens.
it's fine. Don't worry.
Is that
Well,
okay?
yeah, yeah. What
Yeah,
time is it
yeah,
actually over there?
it's 12 midnight.
Oh my God. All right. Are you
It's okay.
are you an evening person?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
That's why I get the energy, and I had my coffee, so I'm good.
um, but I mean, this is kind of the last topic anyway. So
Mhm,
you were just sharing what you would advise someone like me who wants to do
mhm,
events more. I mean, you already shared some things already. I don't know if you wanted to add something more to it. I also have two events already created that I just want to show maybe so you can kind
mhm,
of look at it and be like, okay, this should be different. But already the two things that you shared uh, on knowing what your audience wants was already
mhm.
pretty helpful, I would say. But
Yeah,
you want me to show it or?
sure, sure. I'm actually very curious.
Okay, and by no means this is like a finished event. That's why I'm also still asking for feedback.
Mm.
Um, let me just share. All right, we're here with fishes again. Uh, so this is actually an event of my startup, the IPS project, and
Mhm,
I yeah, the events are called sort of like IPS journeys, more like mindful travel trips.
mhm,
And I have right now, well, three, but two that I already sort of created,
mhm,
but that this year I wanna do. I mean, or next year in the summer when Corona is hopefully history. Um, so uh, let's just take this one. So this is like a 3 day event
mhm,
where I want to go and climb a mountain with people.
mhm,
And sort of the idea is to connect with nature and with, your instincts and with other people. Like this one is mainly for guys. So I wanted to make like a sort of guy trip where you connect with guys in sort of a yeah, use your instincts again to survive together to climb a mountain. But the main thing that I'm sort of worried about is that it's not yeah that what you said of know what your audience wants or know if I don't know if someone is interested in this and maybe if
mhm.
it has to be a bit adjusted the topic of the event. And I don't know if I maybe should share this to you so you can kind of scroll through it.
Mhm. Okay.
You want me to share it?
Yeah, that would be great.
Uh, hold on. How do I share stuff here?
On the chat box.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's here in the top. There we go.
Okay.
I also don't know if I really explained it now well, and if maybe the description is better or worse.
Mm.
But you can give me like straight down, like honest, feedback. You don't have to be nice.
Have you so you've done this trip before?
No, I've not. I've not done this trip before. That's why
Okay.
I created it to do it actually last year, but then Corona, and yeah, so I've not done it yet. So it's still, yeah, very adjustable. But I just wanted to bring guys, and yeah, often I feel like that guys are easier to connect when they do a shared activity that's more difficult with each other. And
Okay.
that was sort of the idea, to go and climb a mountain and, yeah, be in nature again and connect with each other a bit more,
Okay.
and take
Great.
your time to read. And it's a bit more around well-being and mental health. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Important of it is
It's a very
okay.
cool mountain, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know if
I
you're
mean,
you're probably maybe not in stuff like climbing a mountain, although I could recommend it. But it's I've
yeah, I
climbed it a
was
lot.
like, it's good, yeah.
I've
I
climbed it a
mean,
lot of times. It's awesome.
yeah, I'm, I'm scared. I'm scared. Like I've been living here in Bali for like almost 5 years, 4 years, 5 years,
Uh-huh.
and I never like hike a mountain, like even Agung or Mount Agung or well, Mount
Um,
Batur,
Mount.
that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Batur, the one that everyone's go for like sunrise. I never been because hiking is not really my thing.
Well, yeah, okay, I get it. The climbing that one is pretty tiring. It's just kind of
Mm,
like going straight up, kind of.
mm.
This one is more fun.
Okay. Well, so far, I guess it's good. You're pretty much explaining about the agenda there.
But does
They
it the
want it.
topic makes okay? Take your time first.
Yeah, I just read it quickly so I don't really see. Like one of the thing, Yelis,
Uh-huh.
when it comes to creating events, and then you want to promote your events as well,
Uh-huh.
uh, having a good like on your writings, it needs to get all the information that you would like to share to the audience. That's very important.
Mm.
Uh, that's why like right now, I would like to go and read everything so then I can give you a feedback in
All right.
there.
I'm taking my pencil
But
here to take some notes from you.
yeah, maybe. But okay. You shared to me a little bit about the event, so I just want to see if I can see it on this website or not. Okay. First of all, why is it only men actually, man?
Um. Well,
Is it?
it's
Mhm.
again, it's something that I might change this, details of this, but mainly because I just feel that guys mostly connect more on a deeper level with each other when they're doing a
Mhm.
difficult activity together,
Okay.
and open up about personal things.
Mm. Okay.
But I think I might. My worry is that I'm doing a little bit too many things with these events, and that with that it's becoming unclear.
What do you mean by a lot of things?
Um, yeah, that we're climbing a mountain, that we're,
Mm.
talking maybe more about personal things along the way, that we're,
Mm.
you know, more connecting with each other in a way by surviving together. I don't know if it's too many Well, let me leave your
Mm.
thoughts and well, yeah, just share with me
But
what you got.
but the re oh, voiceover. I guess it's good. I mean, like reading into it, it's pretty much clear on the trip itself,
Hmm.
on what's included, what's not. Like with you is good, the price is there, the date is there, the instructor is there. It's good to have a couple of requirements, the instructor, knowing that it's a program, right? Requirements, okay. No, you don't. Okay, that's good. Day one agenda is there. Um, I guess it's pretty much clear. Let's say like from the event perspective, it's looking good.
Hmm.
It's pretty much clear on what you guys gonna do on the journey. You put all the information there in terms of the dates, the price.
Hmm.
Uh, but I don't know, yeah, with the website, is it a good thing to put there or not
To put
in
it
the
on the
beginning?
website.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I never
Ah, yeah,
create like
but I'm
programs
also,
online.
when this will happen, I will also make, because what would you recommend? Like social media, I guess, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I will also put it on Facebook as an
Yeah.
event and put it on other social media platforms also. It's just this is sort of like the page with information on it where you can book
Mm.
it.
Okay. Okay. All looks good, but
Hmm.
the reason why I asked you that question in the beginning, why is it only for men? But you
Mm.
already give me the reason why. But I just want to make sure like back again with my statement in the beginning, like is that your audience that you're looking for? I mean,
Uh,
I know like this is part of Inner Picture Stories, which is your business, right?
mhm.
Do you have the community of it already, or?
I mean, this is not per se that I will. I mean, I will also promote it to my community.
Hmm.
But yeah, I just thought it was a good idea maybe to do it an event for men only. Yeah, because of the reason that I said. Because
Have
I
you
mainly
asked
feel
them?
they connect with, yeah, difficult shared uh, activities.
Yeah. Have you asked them yet
That's a
about
good
this idea?
question. Um, if other guys would be interested in this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I also had some girls who were interested in this, so it's not per
Okay.
se. I don't want to exclude anyone. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
event that I thought like, okay, might be interesting to also have a focused group, like
Mm-hmm.
they have women groups or something. Like
Okay.
it's a different experience when there's a mixed gender, right?
Mm,
And
yeah.
yeah, I just was thinking more for that reason to that.
Mm,
But it's not like I don't want to make it mixed or something. It's just an idea that I sort of had.
okay. Um, I mean, I might say it's good. Everything you need in terms of the information is pretty much there.
Hmm.
You already creating the agenda for it, so it's pretty much clear around it. Um, yeah,
What
yeah. Uh-huh.
what would you say could be different or better, or yeah, or what do you not like?
I guess it's not like I don't like it or what would be different or anything, but
Hmm.
um. I just one of my suggestion to you is just to uh like when you back again when you're creating this program, you need to know like okay, who is your target market again? You need to be more
More precise
uh
to that.
precise to that, and then like
Yeah,
know the audience itself. Let's say the person like okay, so I need these men who are interested around this topic
yeah,
around mental health, being an adventure together, and then talk about it with the person who have that criteria
right,
that
right,
you're
right.
looking for, and then
Mm,
asking them like okay, if just bouncing ideas in the beginning.
yeah.
Sorry, just bouncing the ideas in the beginning, and then and then ask them basically like, is this something that you would like to have or not?
Mm. Or ask them what they would like more in sort of an event like this or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
So to more find my sort of target that could be interested in this, and then to more precisely ask them what they really would be interested in, or.
Hmm. Maybe let's say like you already put a couple of agenda there, right? Like okay, day one, check in at the cabin, welcome, get climbing equipment, orientation, and prepare your bag.
Mm-hmm.
When we're talking about the orientation, there are a lot of type of activities as well, right? So let's say one of the other feedback that, let's say when you're talking to this person, you can also say, well, like what kind of activities actually that you like to do?
Mm.
As simple as that.
Yeah, 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 okay.
Um, just to elevate the program itself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that's the only thing that I have in mind so far. I mean, the program itself, it looks good. All the things that you've done on the website is already great. I don't really understand about the marketing that much, but
About the
I guess
marketing?
yeah, the marketing of the events.
How I would market
Um,
it, or what do you mean?
yeah, how do you put on the website? What needs to be there? I don't know, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's there. It's
Uh-huh.
good already. It's pretty
How,
clear on what are the.
how would you market it? Like the events that you've done, how did you market them mainly? Like just mainly Facebook?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah?
I mean the way, yeah, back again, yeah, mostly Facebook because that's where my target market is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess when it comes to marketing as well, like you need to know like where your target market is.
Yeah.
Ah, ah. Anyway, everything looks good, man. But that's just my
No,
let's
awesome.
see.
I really appreciate your feedback on this, actually.
Mm,
And you definitely shared something good for me to kind of look into more, to more
mm,
define my audience for these events better.
mhm.
Um, yeah, that helps. That helps a lot, actually.
Well, glad if I could help.
Let me. I mean, the other event that I had
Mhm,
is sort of similar. That I also think I have the same problem. That I also have to more. I mainly created these events that I was like, oh, I think I would like this event, and I think that could be cool. But
mm,
not really looking, for people. Yeah, more creating an event that people are more looking for. So I have to do some more, yeah, search more for my audience or the events that I have more define better the audience to it for both events
mm,
actually.
mm.
Uh,
I
yeah.
guess knowing your target audience is very important for you to I mean it's good that you're already creating this option, but define it define your target market is also
Uh
important.
huh. Um. Okay. And how does this event actually sound? Like, this is an event where I basically want to go 3 days also with
Mm-hmm,
people in the forests and yeah, again, I think it's also and it's sort of like a like camping wild,
mm-hmm,
um, uh, and yeah, I think I'm actually running into the same problem like the other one
mm,
that I have to define my audience a bit better there. Okay,
mm.
I think
Yeah, I guess
from what you
I guess
shared,
once you I guess once you already know the answer better, you're pretty much more confident on creating the events and the program itself. And it will like boosting up your mood so much.
mm,
And it will makes you works better on creating the programs or the events.
yeah, and I mean, in the end, you feel like events or anything kind of like you refine it bit more and more it's not like, because this was sometimes that I was a bit worried about, like, oh, I create it and it's going to be like that, it's always going to be like that, but you can refine things, improve them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I tried the other event that I just showed some years ago, and yeah, like one group showed up, but then many
Mm-hmm.
other events that I held with that event, no one showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was a bit like, oh, I suck at holding events, but it just had to be a little bit more refined, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
um, with the information that you shared. So yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Mm, yeah, the reason why I say that is very important because actually it is because it is actually important, when you don't really curate the events better
Mm-hmm.
to the target audience that you are targeting, then of course you will not have a lot of people like coming into the event itself.
Yeah,
Um,
makes sense.
like that's why at the end of the day, it's about like curating the events better, knowing your
Yeah,
audience. That's it. It sounds easy, but actually a lot, when it
it's
comes to
true.
events, because everyone's always like, okay, yeah, just another events. But of course, there's a lot
Yeah.
of things happening behind it. Like you need to do a research about the target market, the people, like who are you talking to, what do they like, what this person like. That's why at Hubud I always talk to people and then ask like, okay, what do you want?
Mm, yeah, best way. But maybe that was the thing, that I thought it was a bit easier to hold an event than in reality it is actually, because
Mm,
yeah. But well, next year hopefully they will be a bit better.
yes, man. Hopefully. So then I really miss being like go first travel. Of course, I would like to travel, but I really miss going to a concert or festival or events where I can be
Can you
around like a lot
imagine?
of people.
Yeah,
And yeah, hopefully the world's getting better soon by next year. So then we can start having those activities again.
it will, but it just takes time, you know.
Getting there, getting there.
Uh, so, was there anything more or else that you wanted to talk about, or do you feel, because I think we've been chatting for two
2.5
hours,
hours,
2 hours and
more or
30
less.
minutes
Yes.
about, yeah? Or do you feel
Yeah.
like we, I don't know, covered quite enough of topics right now for this time?
I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
It's good like coming up from my side. I I yeah, I guess it's pretty much good from my side. Like how about you? Like is it okay or do you have any other topic in mind?
I shared all of them that I wanted to share. So yeah, I'm good too. And it was really awesome because I had you on my like list of people that I wanted to talk to on this podcast for a while now. So
Thanks,
it's
man.
really awesome actually to finally have done this with you. Yeah. So thanks.
Hopefully it's interesting enough to, I don't know. Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, because this podcast was also created for me to catch up with people around the world that I
Mhm.
know, like interesting people that I
Yeah.
know. And it was a great opportunity like that to, yeah, connect with people again, and
Mm.
also share, interesting things with each other, and then also share it out in the world for our others who might be
Yeah.
interested too. And so far, I've been actually receiving quite a lot of positive comments from people
Good.
listening to past episodes. So I'm pretty
Okay.
sure this one will also be a great listen for a lot of people.
Well, hopefully. I mean, it's always nice to catching up with friends. I mean, like when was the last time we talked? But it's
Um,
I don't know,
well, last time that I was in Bali
long
was, I
time.
think,
I guess
in
we never really
January,
like. Uh-huh.
so almost about a year ago now.
With it? Yeah, because the last time when you were here, I know the corona is already starting.
Exactly.
You're still around. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it should be like
I
around a year
think
or
January
something.
or February or something that I was still in Ubud. Ah,
Uh,
yeah, and then Hubud, everything was closed, yes. And then
yeah.
I think you were in Canggu already.
Oh, oh yeah, because you're. Oh yeah, I remember. I still remember that you are still around. Benedicta is still around. Edith is still around.
Yes, but they left
Uh,
when I was still there, actually.
oh really?
Yes,
Okay.
because they went because
Uh,
of Corona back home. I was actually with
mm,
Edith supposed to go to Nusa Penida, and I
mm.
was on the island of Nusa Penida, and then she was like, "Yeah, I'm going home." And I was like, "What the hell?" So I was alone on the island by myself, but had
Oh
a good
my
time
God.
anyway. Yes.
Well, that's always good, hey, to have some time for yourself as well.
Exactly, exactly.
Like needed, as what I said.
What are you still doing tonight?
Actually, I'm gonna catching up with a like one more work to do
Uh
because
huh.
right now we're um at the moment we're thinking to create an virtual retreat for our team member here.
All
Um,
right.
we've done that before earlier this year, and it went great. We already used this. We already had a picture from our last virtual retreat, but this is my first time to create this virtual retreat myself. So I need to figuring out about like what kind of software that I can use to do this virtual meeting for everyone so then it
Mm,
can be more fun. Knowing that most of our team members are like developers as well, right? They like
right.
to play games. So maybe I need to find a software where it can be more playful, I guess, where everyone can feel
Huh.
like they're playing a games. I don't know if you ever heard about Getter.town, but I guess that's one of the software that I like. That's the software that I will use
I
to
have
have
not
this
heard
like
about it.
it's kind of like a video chatting for remote teams, and then you can actually create a venue, um, and then yeah, you can actually like create an avatar of yourself, and then you and your
Ah,
team member are there, and then having a call there. You can
that's cool.
actually doing a presentation as well there. So I was like, okay, I guess this is interesting. Maybe this is something that people love, but I don't know. Right now, I would like to drafting the agenda and try to find the activities because well, the goal for this event is basically to gathering all the new team member that we have
Mm,
because we had a lot of like new team members coming in this past 3 months because we have a lot of project coming in. We have more developers coming in as well to
cool.
our team now at the moment. We just want to bring everyone together and then having, like bonding time and then sharing a couple of company information,
And you're
something
doing
like
on
that.
this on a freelance base, right? You said, or
I'm actually no, actually, I'm doing it full time right now.
yeah, okay, all right, yeah.
So yeah, actually, like after freelance experience, man, last year, I mean, it was great. You had all the time in your life, but it was for me, I was always nervous at the end of the month because I don't know if I still have the gigs or not. And
Yes.
coming from the experience that I work, like from the experience before where I pretty much settle every month. I know, like, okay, next month I have my salary, so I don't need to
Yeah.
worry so much. I don't really have to find the clients every time or every day, or,
There's a whole
and
hustle
it's,
involved in being
yeah.
freelance.
And I
Yeah.
don't think that's for me. I would prefer to just have, at least for now, I would
Yeah.
prefer to just have like a full time where I put like all of my energy into that and
Yeah,
then
right. Yeah.
rather than separating it like
Yeah,
one
you
by
have more
one.
energy on just focusing on doing the work than on actually stressing out about finding the clients and
Yeah,
yeah, so yeah,
yeah,
it's not easy.
yeah. That's why I decided to took this job in the beginning because I actually told them in the beginning they were asking like, Are you interested to just doing it like part time?" And I was like, "Well, actually, I would prefer to do it full time." And then at the end, they decided, "Okay, let's just having it here full time then." So I was
Awesome.
like. Okay, that's good. That's what cash needs. And then with the way we work at the moment, knowing that it's pretty much remote, it's actually interesting as well. Like I can kind of like relate with all the things that people that I met at Hubud talking about like how remote work
Yeah.
works.
Mm.
And then about loneliness, mental health
Yep.
is very uh, it's there. So I kind of like relate with all that
Mm.
so much when everyone said like, "Oh my God, I feel so lonely." The reason why I go to co-working space because I would like to meet people. So
Yep.
that's why right now I even ask my as my supervisor if it's okay for me to subscribe to co-working because
Good
I need it. I
decision.
cannot I cannot work at home by myself.
Nah, it's
It's
too much
just
after a
not
while.
cash.
Yeah, good decision. To yeah, co-working places are amazing.
Yeah,
Well,
agree.
Cash, I'm gonna leave you to some more night work for you,
I know.
and
I think
I
I'm just gonna work for another like 1 or 2 hours and then go to sleep.
and I really appreciate that you wanted to take the time to do this, and also just to be able to catch up with you. It was really awesome to talk to you again.